Hello and welcome to my humble abode. I'm not sure we can call it an abode, but it's humble. That's for sure. So I'm holding a present. This is actually, in fact, not a present, except for, it's a present from me to me, and it's a book. So, a weird habit I have, and I got my best friend to also adapt, is getting my books wrapped when I buy them. That's it. That's the video. I do a weird thing with books. What even is this book? I don't actually know. And that's the whole fun of it. So the reason I actually do this is because, one, they look very cute on my shelf, and it actually, I'm just realizing now, it's a really good way to distinguish between books I haven't and have read, because obviously I don't put them back in this pretty pristine, so impressive bookstore wrapping skill. Because usually things I wrap up end up looking like shit. I currently have 3 wrapped books, of which I bought 2 quite recently, and one I've entirely forgotten of what it is. So the reason I do this is, 1, they stay intact in your bag, which is very nice, because bags are messy, and when you buy something you want it to be pristine when you get home. I usually just read books at home, though I might sometimes bring them on the train. It's nice for the initial shock. And I'm in the Netherlands, and you know what we're known for? Wheat and beer, but also the rain. There's a lot of rain. You know what rain does to books? Not good things. So, 1, keep it safe. 2, the surprise. I got this like a week ago, this one. And I do know what it is the sequel to, because I just finished reading that book and I want to know what this one is, but I no longer remember the title of this. And the reason I like this so much is because I'll unwrap it and then I'm gonna read it, and then I don't really get to like judge anything about it anymore. I mean, I do judge them in the store, but there's a surprise element, and it's just... Monkey Brain adores unpacking things. It's true. I don't make the rules. So, this is the first time I've actually bought a sequel to a book and got it packed, because I don't usually read series, and I did not know this was a series until I was like getting near the end, and it was like, actually this seems like it's pretty unfinished, and then it was unfinished, and now there's another book. And apparently, 3rd is a really good way to keep your read and unread books separate. Unless, like, a lot of my friends do. They just have stacks of books they haven't read. And I do just tend to read the books I just got, because otherwise I feel like it's a waste. And I will go back to them and reread them. And otherwise I will re-gift or sell and whatnot when I'm done with them. Or I'll let my friends borrow them first, you know? So I'm unpacking this, and then I'm gonna take it with me upstairs to my bed. Not an upstairs, but just my bed. And have a read and then sleep. Muse of Nightmares. So this book is a sequel, the 2nd book, to Strange the Dreamer, which first when I initially started it, I did not finish, like didn't get anywhere, and then after like a few months I restarted reading it, and it was so good, and I was just hooked, and it was, I think, a similar thickness, and I finished it rather quickly for somebody with not a lot of free time on their hands, or at least it feels that way. It was built very carefully, somewhat poetically, and then at the end it scattered my heart to bits. But after that, like before that happened, I'd already bought the sequel, and now I'm just kind of horrified to start. So Strange the Dreamer is a big recommendation, and apparently it comes with a sequel, Muse of Nightmares, shortlisted for the 2018 Goodreads Best Young Adult Fantasy and Science Fiction Award. My sincere apologies for sounding like a goof. And while I'm on the topic of books, I'd like to share with you another book I recently read that I have some things to say about. It's The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. And I don't know if you read Spiderwick as a smaller kid than you are now, or are reading it now. Honestly, I've reread that book so many times. I borrowed it from the library like 5 times, and then at some point they were just like, do you just want to have this? And I was like, So I do have it. But this book is like a young adult version of Spiderwick. It's slightly more scary, slightly more gruesome, slightly more intense and deep, extra themes. And I love it. I really, really liked it. I recommended it to a friend who seems to be a more serious person than I am, and they also quite liked it, so I mean, 2 recommendations going for it. I just think it's neat, and that was it. Let me know if you have any weird habits concerning books. Unless you're like, I once saw a post where a man would like cut his book in half across the spine so that it was more travel sized. Imagine! Heresy. Let me know if you have any weird book habits or whatever you want to tell me. Roast me for all you want. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Good night. From me and my book that are gonna have a great time in bed together.